This is a secretive industry, you know, and it shouldn't.
With me now is 26-year-old Timothy Thice. He took $12,000 in bar mitzvah gift money and eventually turned it into a cool $1 million plus.
Timothy, ripe old age of 26, you've made more money than a lot of people will in their entire lifetime. Be simple here and tell me how'd you do it.
Loved and hated on the web, Tim takes no prisoners. A strategy that could help you win $1 million.
You don't care about earnings, you don't care about sometimes I do, but when you have beautiful charts, you got to play it.
This guy's pretty smart. You got to listen to him, listen to his picks, and see if that can separate you from the rest of the pack.
I'm Eric Wood. I'm up over 600K using Tim's method, and it's been total success from the beginning. His strategy works.
In 3 weeks, 20,000 plus, so it's been amazing.
I'm up, I think, between 30 and 40,000 just pretty much on Chain Alert.
I have 2 children. I am a single parent, and I am now currently trading full-time on the stock market.
I'm proud to say that I made $6,500 in 2 days, and it's awesome.
On the first week, I made 11 grand.
I actually collect profit over $190,000.
Well, right now starting in August and about $40,000 in 3 months.
I love his strategy, I love his compassion, his dedication, and his interest in his students, and they have to follow the strategy.
I worked Tim for about 7 months and close to about $75,000 in profits. Just learning from Tim.
Take a look at these 4 photos. Left to right, there's a college dorm, a gas station rest stop, a golf course, and a long line at the DMV. Remember these because they have one thing in common. It's the secret to how I tapped the stock market for $2 million in profits before I turned 25. And it's how over 2,000 people in 60 countries stopped letting Wall Street push them around and started pushing back, now with over $5 million in profits in just a few years. Keep watching, and you'll not only understand how to use this powerful secret for yourself, but I promise you will never look at the stock market and your own potential to profit from it the same way ever again. Hi, I'm Tim Sykes, and no matter where you are right now, whether you're looking for a job or hoping to retire, you've read it in the paper, you've seen it on TV, Wall Street is now the enemy. The same stock market that's supposed to be a place of opportunity where anybody can get ahead, even become a millionaire, now has protesters marching in front of it who are convinced the whole thing is just one big inside joke on the American dream. I've seen Wall Street from the inside out, and I can tell you this. No matter how crooked you suspect the street and its insiders have gotten, you're right. If anything, it's worse than you think. And it seems like your chances of ever making life-changing money from the market are about as miserable as retiring from a scratch-off lottery ticket. Well, sadly, for 90% of would-be traders out there today, that's also true. I'll get to the other 10% in just a minute. A select few average people who have discovered the stock market's most incredible opportunities haven't disappeared, they're just hiding in plain sight. How do I know? Because the opportunity wasn't always hiding. In fact, it was just over a decade ago, in 1999, that I turned $12,415 in bar mitzvah gift money into over $800,000 in just a single year, right here in my old college dorm room at Tufts University in Medford, Massachusetts.
Back in 2000, the stock market was going crazy, but I had a small account, so I couldn't trade a lot of the stocks that I wanted. I couldn't afford to trade IBM or Microsoft, so I turned to penny stocks. Stocks trading under $5 a share. And remember, I'm a middle-class kid, so when I start making a few $100, sometimes $1,000 or $2 in a day from my high school, that's a lot of money. I started taking extra long bathroom breaks so that I could trade more from the library. My parents forced me to go off to college because all I wanted to do was trade. So I traded from college. I skipped some classes. This was my freshman year dorm. Tufts, Houston Hall. I start making $1,000, sometimes $2,000, sometimes $5,000 or even $10,000 in a day. In one memorable weekend, I made over $100,000. I took the entire dorm out to dinner. All of a sudden, I'm the big man on campus. It's very strange. My friends, they're trying to get into fraternities, they're trying to get girls, they're trying to get popular. I already have that. Sometimes I have 10, 20 people cheering me on as I'm making now $20,000, sometimes $30,000 in a day. All of a sudden, I make nearly $1 million in 1 year, freshman year, from this dorm room right behind me. It was fantastic money. I didn't even know the companies that I was trading. It was just about the tickers and the patterns. And I thought that it would last forever. I thought that I was set for life.
Something kept eating at me though. That aha moment I'll share with you in a bit is the whole reason my students and I are still banking like it's 1999, even while 90% of traders lose money and give up. You see, what kept me up nights was I realized I had no idea why most of the stocks that were making me rich were suddenly going through the roof, one after the other, day after day. The patterns were obvious. These stocks were going up exponentially overnight without any meaningful news whatsoever. But who was doing all this buying to push the stock prices up so quickly? Even the dozens of different online message boards I watched day and night couldn't give me any clues. It almost seemed too good to be true, and it wasn't until the whole stock market tanked in the 2000 tech wreck that I finally figured it out. Article after article came out in the media exposing so-called pump and dump schemes where marketing firms, insiders, even the mafia accumulated hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of shares of companies. Then they use all kinds of crazy tactics to pump up the prices higher. Message boards, emails, fax spam, telemarketing boiler rooms, you name it. Promising unsuspecting investors the company was a sure thing. And in a way, they were. The prices did always go up, except unlike a normal stock, a few weeks later, once the pumpers stopped pumping, the stock price crashed from dollars back down to pennies a share. Day traders like me who watched price charts and read message boards saw the same repeating patterns a mile away, and we got out in time. But buy and hold investors who only listened to what the pumpers told them and thought that they actually discovered the next Microsoft, they were left holding the bag while the promoters moved on to the next play and pray. It was a vicious cycle. Even the FBI got involved. Some of the pumpers went to jail. And at first, it seemed like the whole penny stock game was over. My trading profits came to a grinding halt almost overnight. I tried my luck with some regular stocks, but every time I just lost money. With none of the old predictable patterns to go on, it just felt like gambling. If anybody had an edge, it certainly wasn't me. And that's when it hit me. The aha moment that has earned me at least 50% every year since, even in flat and down markets. It let me start my own hedge fund straight out of college, and it landed me a Times Square billboard and my own TV show. Plus, it allowed my students to raid the market for documented profits of over $5 million in just a few short years. And that is, if you want to profit from the stock market, you need an unfair advantage. I'd had such an unfair advantage with the pump and dump penny stocks without even knowing why, and it helped me become a millionaire by age 22. Meanwhile, anytime I tried to trade the regular stock market ever since, I'd only lost money. So how do you get this kind of unfair advantage working on your side? Please know this, it's certainly not listening to bald guys promising you stock picks on TV who are wrong way more often than they are right.
Bear Stearns is fine. Do not take your money. This is real. Look, if there's one takeaway other than a plus 400 somewhere, don't move your money from Bear. That's just being silly. Don't be silly.
And it's not spending hours glued to CNBC or the Wall Street Journal, reading analyst reports, or trying to find some magical formula or software for predicting which stocks will go up. Listen. Every year, more than 50% of all the regular blue chip stocks that get covered in the news and picked on television go down in value, even in a good market. And good luck trying to predict which ones are going to go up. You've got zero advantage. It's not much better than playing a slot machine. Given the shell game of strategies and misinformation, I think it's a wonder anybody makes money in the regular stock market at all. The truth is, the only unfair advantage that I know of is not looking for the companies that will thrive the most for legitimate reasons like good earnings or hot new products. Instead, it's being the first to spot the absolute worst, scum of the earth companies that go up very fast for very shady reasons, consistently and methodically, one after the other, month after month, and swooping into profit before the whole facade crumbles and the stock nosedives like a hawk after roadkill. I'll reveal exactly how to do that in just a minute, so keep watching. Because as I soon discovered, these pump and dump stock manipulations don't die out when the illegal mafia boiler rooms and spam factories got shut down. In fact, the manipulators found a way to make it all nice and legal so their ugly game would never get busted up again. Believe it or not, all these guys have to do is put a disclaimer in tiny little type at the bottom of their scammy emails and websites indicating they've been paid by some shady little company or third party to pump up their stock price, and they're covered all the way to the bank. Just like before, Corporate insiders or someone else who's built up a huge stash of almost worthless shares in a particular penny stock pays stock promoters anywhere from a few $1,000s up to $5 million. And the stock promoters go to work blasting out the news about the next big thing to millions of would-be investors who treat the recommendations like lottery tickets. Sometimes they even bring in celebrities like Tiger Woods, Shaq, and Justin Bieber to help endorse the stock price higher in exchange for a boatload of shares. Yup. Every one of these 3 celebrities has been involved in a penny stock pump in the last few years. Then, just like before, once the pump is over and the insiders have sold off their shares at hugely inflated prices, the music stops and the stock price plummets back down to earth. Heck, I've even been offered $50,000 and sometimes even $100,000 or more just to send out a single email of these advertisements to my own email list. Fortunately, I've found an ethical way to consistently beat them at their own game. And believe me, the scammers hate me for it. But I think you're gonna love it. First, let me quickly show you how massive these opportunities can be and how rotten these penny stock companies truly are. You'll never see this on TV, and it's going to shock you. Take a look at these charts. Do you notice something suspiciously similar about them? I call these supernovas, and like the old boiler room patterns, you can see how they explode seemingly out of nowhere, then quickly fizzle out. The patterns are so similar because it's always the same usual suspects pumping and dumping the stocks in the same ways. And because they're not even real companies, there's practically nothing but the promoters to influence the stock price. That's right, these companies are basically just shells, and their only real product is their stock. All the insiders want to do is hype the price of the stock up long enough so they can sell their shares and then walk away. These manipulations and frauds are blatant. I've made a sport out of publicly outing and shaming them. I can't help it. Some of these companies literally have corporate headquarters at UPS stores, and in one case, a barn. Of course, I profit from trading them again and again because once you know the real reason these stocks are moving and how the patterns work, they're so predictable it's almost embarrassing. Like I tell my students, I can't tell you where a stock will be a year from now, and anybody who does is lying, but more than 70% of the time, I can tell you where a penny stock will be in a day or a week from now. But again, you will never see these companies or their stocks covered in the mainstream financial media. And as tempting as it might be to just blindly get in on a bunch of penny stock promoters lists and go on a buying spree now that you know how these deals really work, it's not that easy. I've been following these penny stock patterns for over 14 years now, and as simple as they are, there are important strategies and tricks of the trade that you need to know to truly beat the promoters at their own game. Crucial and profit multiplying tricks like how to spot penny stocks ripe for manipulation before the promoters want you to know about them. And this is huge because once the official pump begins, the trend moves so fast, it's easy to miss out on the biggest gains. Another tip, using the secret of higher highs and lower lows to get in and out at the best possible times. How to aim small and miss small to ensure that even on your losing trades, and yes, you will have a few losers every now and then, anyone who tells you differently is lying, don't hurt too much. Plus, how to profit from these patterns both on the way up and on the way down. Yes, even though very few traders know about it, there's actually an easy alternate way to trade these stocks that allows you to make money when the pump is over and the stock is ready to collapse. These collapses are even more predictable than the run-ups, and betting against the promoters feels a lot more natural to me than betting on them. In fact, I make 70% of my trades betting against these stocks when the prices fall. And this strategy was the cornerstone, the hedge fund that I started back in 2003 that made me the #1 ranked short bias hedge fund by Barclay for 3 years. It also landed me in Trader Monthly's top 30 under 30, and it gave me the lead role in the hit TV show Wall Street Warriors. I'm not just saying this to brag. The truth is the real reason I'm talking to you right now. Because once people started seeing me on TV and in the news, I started getting as many as 100, 200, and soon 2,000 emails a day and more, all from people asking me how they could profit from penny stocks. And as a hedge fund manager, I literally could not answer a single one of them. Go figure, right? When you run a hedge fund, the government says you are legally prohibited from sharing your strategies with anyone other than proven high net worth individuals. In other words, I couldn't even share a single word of advice with anyone except the elite rich who were already doing just fine. While the everyday people who really needed my help, they were getting shafted by the stock market, desperate for any edge that they could get, and they got the cold shoulder. Pretty quickly, I decided that being a hedge fund manager and taking a small cut from the profits of a handful of very wealthy clients was not my end goal in life. I couldn't keep what I knew about how penny stock promoters were getting away with turning the market into their own personal piggy bank to myself. Not when turning the tables on them and ethically beating them at their own game is so easily teachable and repeatable. Until now, if you wanted to discover my full strategy for profiting from manipulated penny stocks, you either had to invest at least $99 a month online or fly out to one of my $10,000 a person seminars and learn from me in person. Over 2,000 students in more than 60 countries have taken me up on these high-ticket options. Now that I've proven these strategies work for my students just as well as they have for me, and that they work no matter how many people I share this with, for the first time, I'm releasing a fully on-demand digital version of my strategy and my up-to-the-minute live updates on the biggest and most profitable manipulations as they happen, all in one unique platform I'm calling Penny Stock Conspiracy. The core of this platform is something I've never offered before, and that's a live data feed of my personal penny stock trading alerts that fits right into your favorite web browser as seamlessly as a simple toolbar.
All right, I want you to check out this technology that we built because it's amazing. Whenever I see an ideal trade, I simply put in a buy alert right here. This stock is ideal for buying. You see this toolbar right here, it is broadcast immediately so that you are alerted. There is nothing out there that is quicker. You are alerted to the perfect trades in real time on your toolbar. All you have to do is download it, and presto, you get instantaneous buy and sell alerts.
I had this live feed delivery system developed to make sure that you have the opportunity to get the same kind of early warning system for the latest penny stock pumps that my highest paying clients receive every single week, including my recommendations on when to buy and sell and when to bet against them so you can profit on both ways, on the way up and on the way down, again and again. Professional services like Bloomberg routinely charge up to $2,000 a month for live updating trading info, and my own students have paid up to $99 a month for the opportunity to get my up-to-the-minute trading advice. Yet thousands of emails that still fill my inbox every day tell me that there are many more people who desperately need access to this information at an even more affordable price. Because I want to get this into as many hands as possible, at least for a limited time, you can get lifetime access to my live trading feed for just $47 a month. In fact, if you act today, let's forget about the monthly part. Just pay $47 for the first month and I'll comp the rest of your payments for life. All I ask is that you email me once you've had a chance to put these alerts to work for yourself and tell me about your results. I love hearing about my students' success, and honestly, reading just a single one of those emails a day is worth a lot more to me than $47. Yet this is not about feeding you stock picks. Just like my most successful students have consistently done, pretty soon I want you to look at the live alerts you're getting from me as backup for the patterns that you're already spotting for yourself. That's why, along with the live data feed, you're also going to get my full live video penny stocking training where I reveal step-by-step how I identify and profit from manipulated penny stocks. These videos normally sell for $400, and I'm including them with Penny Stock Conspiracy platform at no extra cost. Plus, if you take action before this video ends, I will include a special report I just completed that I have never released at any price. It includes my own personal shortlist of stock manipulators I actively monitor because their promotions tend to lead to the biggest and most predictable and profitable penny stock supernova pump and dumps. There are literally hundreds of promoters out there, only a few are worth watching. That's why this list is a key element to my long-standing success in spotting trades most people miss. Again, just one payment of $47 gets you access to everything. And all you need to do to get started is click the big orange Add to Cart button below this video right now. Even at this price though, I want you to make sure that you're confident my strategy is right for you before you commit to anything. Even if you're already 100% sure that this is for you, beyond any doubt, I still require that you take 60 days to put it to the test and make sure you agree with me that it's worth at least 10 times what you paid today. And if for any reason you decide it wasn't, I will insist on giving you a full refund on the spot. Again, what you're getting here for just $47 is the same set of strategies and the same trading setups that I've personally used to earn over $2.9 million and counting in the past decade. And not just from a few lucky trades either. Rather by following the same patterns repeatedly, usually once every few days, for an average of $2,400 in profits each time. Can I promise my strategy will work just as well for you? No. What I can tell you is that I managed to make winning trades over 70% of the time, and the students who follow my advice succeed over 68% of the time, for a total of over $8 million in fully documented profits over 14 years. Of course, I can't guarantee this will work well for everybody because frankly, my most successful students are not everybody. They're a far more disciplined, dedicated crowd than the majority of get-rich-quick opportunity seekers out there who just want automated trading or passive stock picks. The sad truth is that I could continue showing you proof of how massive the rewards from learning and trading my strategy can be all day long, and most people still wouldn't want to put in the time and effort required. If that describes you, please do not buy, because my continued insistence that you actually learn things and think for yourself will only frustrate you. The good news is, if we are a good fit, I'm confident that you'll thrive with the penny stock conspiracy training, because if there's one thing it's designed to give you, it's self-reliance. I don't want you to just sit back and depend on me to tell you what to do forever. I'll let you get away with it at first, but again, my most successful students look at my alerts as training wheels, not as crutches. Pretty soon, they're using the training to spot the opportunities before I do, and some of them become better traders than me. If you're still watching though, you probably have some legitimate questions about what it takes to succeed with penny stock conspiracy, and now that I've hopefully scared away anyone who's just looking for a click your mouse and become a millionaire fantasy by telling you what you do need, here's what my students and I have proven you absolutely do not need in order to succeed with my strategies. You don't need a trading desk like this. Do you remember this photo? It's a gas station rest stop in New Jersey where I took a break from a long drive, sat down with my laptop, and made a profit of over $30,000 trading pumped up penny stock WLOCD. Sure, I do have an office at home, yet in the last decade, I've made profit-pulling trades everywhere, from a cruise ship in the middle of a storm, to a supermarket, poolside at a Greek island, and hotel rooms and resorts in over 50 different countries. I hope that proves to you that you can make this work from practically anywhere on Earth with an internet connection. You don't need a huge amount of money to get started either. Just ask my student Jarmal Jones, a student and new father from New York who started with just $500. And now he's nailing four-figure profits every few days, including this $5,000 win he picked up while checking the markets while sitting in line at the DMV. You don't need to have loads of free time either. My student Ashaya Burton certainly doesn't. She's a single mother of two, and yet last year alone, she was able to turn her $3,000 account into over $50,000. In fact, here's a photo she just sent me of the hot new BMW 750 Li she picked up to reward herself. And you don't even need to be a computer whiz. My student Eric Wood not only had no idea how to make money in the market when he started, he could barely use a computer. Yet last year, he managed to pull down profits of over $308,000. And even though he freely admits he spends most of his time drinking and playing golf. Nice work if you can get it, right? You can literally find hundreds more success stories on my website and my blog, like the liquor salesman who made $100,500 in 9 months. Or the physical trainer who made $75,000 in 7 months.
$74,000 in 6 months.
Congrats, buddy. With Tim for about 7 months and close to about $75,000 in profits. Just learning from Tim.
Every one of these success stories is documented in black and white for the entire world to see, just like mine. I automatically document every one of my completed trades, win or lose, on my website every day, and I encourage my students to do the same. Are these results typical? Of course not. Like I said earlier, succeeding with my strategy takes dedication and commitment that sadly, most people do not have. It baffles me because I truly don't know any other method that has so much potential and success and requires so little aside from the burning desire to do what it takes to make it happen. You don't need a college education or degree, you don't need a lot of money, you don't need any unusual skills, and you certainly don't need anybody else's permission. I can't promise you'll make $1 million, but what I can promise you is that if you stick with me and you do your part, the kind of self-reliance and self-sufficiency that even very few multimillionaires possess will be yours. I will not insult you with a bunch of hype about how I'm gonna pull down this video in 5 minutes if you don't buy right this minute, but just consider this. Every single week, my students and I profit from penny stock after penny stock, all fitting the same teachable and replicable patterns. And the longer you wait, the more you miss out. Just this week, a few of my students flew down to party with me in South Beach, Miami. And just like me, every single one of them made more than enough with the penny stock BVSN to pay for their trip and more. Just like hundreds of my other students did, in fact, as a group, we milked this bad boy for over $350,000 in profits. Were you with us? The next pump and dump will be just around the corner, and there's still time to join us for the ride. All you need to do to get started is click the big orange Add to Cart button below this video right now.